Edgerton School has a long, outstanding history. But did you know that Edgerton School was not always called Edgerton School?
That's right. In the early days of Kalispell, kids went to school at Central School. It was built in 1894, and it still stands today in downtown Kalispell as a museum. Here it is.
Several years later, they decided that the elementary kids and the big high school kids should go to different schools. So, the West Side School, later named Elrod, was built in 1901, and the North Side School was built in 1904 for $10,000.
The Northside School later became known as our school, Edgerton. Why Edgerton, you ask? Well, Edgerton School was named after a man by the name of Sidney Edgerton. Sidney was a friend with our 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. When Mr. Lincoln became president, he sent Sidney out to present-day Montana to check it out. When Sidney arrived, he was very impressed with the amount of gold and silver in Bannock, Montana. He returned to Washington, D.C. and convinced Abe Lincoln to create a new territory called Montana. President Lincoln then appointed Mr. Sidney T. Edgerton the first territorial governor of Montana. Mr. Edgerton is a famous Montanan because he also established the very first school in Montana at his home in Bannock.
Wow, what a cool guy to name our school after. Okay, back to this old Edgerton school built in 1904. Did you know part of this building still stands today? The old Edgerton School was the oldest active elementary school in the state of Montana until the original building was torn down and a new building constructed on Whitefish Stage Road.
The first day of class in this new Edgerton school, the one we call home today, was September 7, 1987. It's hard to imagine today, but this school was built in the middle of a grain field, which was donated to the school district. That's right, many of your homes were not here yet.
It's always important to keep a bit of our history. Part of old Edgerton still stands today on the property that sits to the north of Taco Bell. But we have two important pieces of the old North Side School here at our building.
One is the old bell tower from the original North Side School. Look for it when you come to school tomorrow morning. And the old maps that hung in the halls of the North Side School hang in our library today. You should check them out. They were printed over 100 years ago.
Phew, that's quite a history for our school. Let's move on to our Edgerton school rules.
Whether it's in 1904 or today, Edgerton School has some very important rules to follow. Our school rules are:
be safe, be kind, be sure to mind,
and say okay.